looked a little nervous as silence fell over the students in the cafeteria. "Aren't you going to run away?" he asked. I laughed coldly. "Someone needs to stand up to you," I snarled. Leo's eyes widened in surprise, and he quickly stepped away from me. He turned and quickly walked out of the cafeteria. A moment later, he brought a teacher into the room, just as a murmur began rising. A hush fell over the crowd again. "What is going on?" the teacher demanded. Leo had fake tears in his eyes as he pointed at me with a shaky finger. "He was bullying me," he sobbed. "He took my lunch and then dumped it all over himself for some reason. It was such a ridiculous accusation that I couldn't help snorting. A scatter of laughter washed over the students. "Principal's office," he growled. "Now." I stared at him. "No," I said coldly. "Go," the teacher snapped, "before I have to call your parents." "Wait," a girl at another table called suddenly. "I have the whole thing on video. If you don't do anything about Leo, I'll be posting the video to the internet and it will go viral." Leo instantly paled, and so did the teacher. "Delete the video," Leo said. The girl shook her head and smirked. "You're done, Leo." "My dad will kill me," Leo pleaded. I said, "Promise to stop the bullying, and you need some sort of consequence for all the stuff you've done in the past." The teacher sighed. "Let's go, Leo," he said. "Principal's office and I'll be calling your parents." He grabbed Leo's arm and dragged him out of the cafeteria. The girl came up to me with a sly smile and showed me her phone. I stared at the blank screen in confusion. She laughed. There was no video. Our roof started leaking after a massive flood, and my mom spent her entire paycheck to fix it. But when the contractor showed up, he took the money, then left to get his tools, and never came back. We waited 4 weeks, and our roof was still leaking, and he'd blocked Mom's number. I urged her to report the fraud, but she could barely speak English and didn't know how. I was furious, but when I realized he had an actual office, I got an idea. I drove over and applied for a job, and since he didn't recognize me, he hired me on the spot. For months, I mopped his floors and gained his trust, while secretly collecting invoices and finding out everything about his business. I drove to his clients' addresses to see if he ever did the work he was paid for, and at one of the houses, I saw an elderly woman with a broken window he should have fixed 2 weeks ago. She barely spoke English and reminded me of my mom. One day he pulled me aside, smiling. "Remember, kid, single moms, people with no English, the elderly, they are easy money. Collect and forget." He laughed, and I wanted to punch him because I realized he was only scamming the vulnerable people who he knew couldn't fight back. I forced myself to laugh with him. Then next day, while he was out for lunch, I snuck into his office. I logged into his computer and went straight to his business accounts. I pulled up every client he had scammed and sent all the money back directly into their accounts. I even compensated them for what they went through. He came back in and saw me at his computer. His account at zero and freaked out. "I trusted you." He picked up his phone to call police, but I just laughed and pulled out all the evidence I'd collected of his scams. He went white as he realized he was screwed, and I told him, "Now, you're either going to shut down your business, or I'm the one calling the police." He immediately put down the phone and agreed. I immediately forced him to drive back to our house and fix my mom's roof. I did that for every person he had scammed, and after he'd fixed everything for free, I reported him for
Let Jungle Gyms pass the savings on to you. We've got deals in all of our departments. Try a food from your favorite team's country, or find what you need and discover what you're missing here at Jungle Gyms.
Fraud anyway. After my sister's funeral, I learned a language only a tiny portion of the human population knows. I watched a specific episode of Teen Titans Go on Repeat, where all the characters spoke Pig Latin, which I forgot I had learned until high school. My teacher, Mr. Ham, was a huge language geek and got a kick out of acting like he was smarter than everyone else. One day I missed an assignment and apologized to Mr. Ham. He said, "Aid, ik pay up yai ayai ukpe om time say upidstay," which means pick up a book sometime, stupid. I completely understood him but said nothing. Turns out he talked crap about every single student in Pig Latin. To the girl students he'd say, "Our yai is bianle ugsjai arayai oingai otai astawe," which translates to, "Your lesbian looks are going to waste." I'd see him look at kids with disabilities movies and hear him say, America's yai exne itest bray homeless hay, meaning America's next brightest homeless. But I knew Mr. Ham's biggest secret. For my next essay, I wrote it in Pig Latin, explaining how I found his degree was actually a 3-month certificate program in South America, just to learn English. The next day he pulled me aside. He told me, please don't ruin this all for me. I told him I didn't understand, and to repeat it in Pig Latin. That's what this is about? I'll stop speaking it. Please, keep quiet. It was too late. Before I submitted my essay, I already sent a full 15-page document exposing Mr. Ham to the school district. How up it stay of me. Every time we heard a knock on front door, my dad would yell, stealth mode, and we had 30 seconds to kill every light in the house. My brother and I would race through the rooms, flipping switches, yanking cords, shutting off the TV mid-show, while some guy outside banged on the front door yelling, I know you're in there, buddy. Dad timed us. Once everything was dark, no talking, no moving, no looking out the windows. We'd sit there until Dad did his owl hoot, which meant all clear. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes almost an hour. Afterwards, he'd high-five us and go, real ninjas couldn't do better. He told us stealth mode was top secret. Never tell your teachers, your friends, nobody. Other people wouldn't understand. For years, I believed him. When I was 8, I asked Dad why we had to hide so much. He said some annoying guy kept bothering our family, and stealth mode was how we dealt with him. I felt proud we had a secret skill that could outsmart bad guys. By the time I was 10, I heard the voice outside yell something about a bet and $20. I tugged Dad's sleeve and whispered, is the bad guy trying to steal our money? Dad shushed me so hard I flinched. When I was 12, I broke the window rule, peeked through the blinds, and saw a completely normal guy in a polo shirt standing on the porch rubbing his forehead. He didn't look like a criminal. He looked like someone's tired uncle. At 13, I told Dad I was just going to open the door and tell the guy to leave us alone. The color left his face. You absolutely cannot do that. That was the first time stealth mode didn't feel like a game. By 15 or 16, it barely happened anymore. But when it did, Dad would peek through the blinds looking guilty. Mom just shook her head from the couch and muttered something under her breath. I was 17.